We'll continue today's call with Georgia head coach Kirby Smart. The Bulldogs will host Mississippi State at 4:15 Eastern Saturday on SEC Network. And coach, while we wait on any questions, if you could please take a moment to comment on your team as you enter this weekend's matchup with Mississippi State.
Yeah, our guys have gotten back hard to work last couple of days, and excited about having another home SEC game, which seems like we hadn't had any in forever, but we've got them here back to back. So looking forward to playing Mississippi State, longtime rivalry, and got a lot of respect for Jeff Levy and the job he's done there, and looking forward to playing those guys at home. Yeah, I'm not getting anything, guys.
Yeah, I'm having trouble with my audio. We'll begin with David Hale of ESPN.
Thanks, Chuck. Kirby, I apologize in advance for what will probably be the dumbest question I hope that you get on this call. I'm doing a story looking back at the 2019 Sugar Bowl game between Georgia and Texas, and specifically the minor kerfuffle with Bevo and Uga before the game. I was wondering what you remember about that game in general, and some of the Texas players had said that that sort of inspired them, the video before the game. I don't know how true that was, but I was curious if you saw the video at all before the game of the mascots, and if you've seen it at all afterwards, what did you think of it?
Well, I was worried for Uga, to be honest. I did not see it prior to the game. I didn't see the whole thing until after the game, and obviously the social media and the video from it since. But I don't remember. I'm trying to remember that game. I don't remember a lot. I remember Aziz Ojalara coming out of a red shirt and playing in that game, and he had been injured a bunch. I think we were going through the coordinator change maybe then, because Dan and Schumann were part of that defensive game plan there. I think that's when Mel had left.
Mhm.
But I mean, it was a hard fought game. I mean, they're always a great program. I do remember that. I mean, the incident with the mascot comes to life because of all the videos since it. I don't recall anything affecting us or seeing that prior to the game. No.
I mean, you've got a long history at Georgia. Can you just sort of speak to what Uga as a like the mascot of Uga means to the sort of fabric and tradition and history of Georgia?
Yeah, I mean, the owners are a Georgia family. The Silers are a Georgia tradition, and so many people respect them and the long history tradition of each UGA that has represented Georgia. It's, they're buried in our stadium. They're right there. So it is, it is a special place, and he's been voted the number one mascot multiple times, and he's just kind of a fabric of our culture, and I think it's what people think of when they think of Georgia.
Awesome. Thanks, Kirby. I appreciate you.
Next, we'll go to Jordan Hill of Dogs 24/7.
Yeah, Kirby, I know walking off the practice field last night, you said you hadn't had a chance to talk to Colby yet. Has that changed? Have you spoken to Colby?
Yeah, I got to speak to him this morning, and he's been suspended indefinitely until this legal matter is resolved. And we can't really comment any further on the specifics of it, but I had a good meeting with him this morning. And, we're committed to continuing to educate our players and do the best job we can of making sure they understand the serious nature of these incidents. And it's very unfortunate, but we want to be responsible in decision making on and off the field, and this is obviously a really tough situation, but he's suspended indefinitely until the legal matter is resolved.
Next, we'll go to Kurt Bowles of the Houston Chronicle.
Good morning, Kirby. Uh, Obviously, you've created a monster there at Georgia. what is the hardest part about sustaining that? Because, to get to the top is very hard, but to stay there, coaches say it's even harder. So what's your biggest concern about, playing at that level that you expect Georgia to play at?
The hardest thing about it is the competition. I mean, the league. It's extremely tough. I mean, I felt like in years past we've had more depth. We've had more people that could play. I felt that way in preseason camp. I sensed that we didn't have as much depth as we've had. And that's has a lot to do with our competition, and who we play against week in and week out. And it just seems like it's gotten tougher, and I think that's the hardest part to staying on top is trying to stay ahead of everybody that's in constant pursuit of you.
And to that topic, Kirby, a lot of people are saying, well, the SEC is a little bit down when you see Vanderbilt and Arkansas teams like that pull upsets, but I'd probably argue the other case that, there just aren't any bad teams in the SEC. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, here's what I'll say, and I don't know much about Vanderbilt and Arkansas because I haven't played either one of them, and I don't even think we've crossed paths. Well, maybe we did with Arkansas. We crossed tape on Auburn, but they both got quarterbacks. And when you got a quarterback, you got a chance. And with the portal and the age of college football, anybody that can get a quarterback, and it might be a niche quarterback. It might be like he's not going to be, the greatest pro, or he's not going to be the greatest. If he can make plays and you can build your offense around him and create problems for the defense, there's anybody you can beat. You can beat anybody out there. And I firmly believe that's the biggest change is that's created the parity. Yeah, everybody's got less depth than they had, but now everybody can go, find a quarterback to build their team around.
Thanks, Kirby.
Next, we'll go to Mike Griffith of AJC Dog Nation.
Sorry about that. Kirby, I know you kind of stay on a need-to-know basis with Josh, but what is your understanding of the gist of the meetings in Nashville with the athletic directors?
I have no idea. I don't even know what you're referencing, Mike. Is this something I'm supposed to know?
I'm guessing if Josh had something that you needed to know, you would know. They're just having meetings in Nashville. I just didn't know if you were kept abreast about what sort of changes might be next for college football in that area.
No, I mean, I complete focus on Mississippi State, to be honest with you. I mean, that's all I'm thinking about this week. I didn't even know Josh is there. Maybe I should know that, but I wasn't even aware of that.
Okay, thanks.
Next, we'll go to Steve Moulton at WZZN.
Coach, always appreciate the time. On the subject of Mississippi State, what impressed you about them defensively against Texas, Coach?
Physical up front, a lot of movement. I thought they from the games previous they simplified things some, and they played better. They played faster. The games previous they were in a little more 3-down stuff. That game they were in a little more 4-down stuff. Probably didn't complicate things. Played really hard and played well, especially for the first 2 or 3 quarters.
And Coach, you tell me. From what I'm hearing from other coaches, it seems like the red shirt conversation is happening more. Is that happening more with your program, or about the same?
I don't really know what you're referencing, Steve.
Well, really, kids coming to you, were with red shirt, questions about their eligibility.
Yeah, we focused on our kids all having the ability to play and go compete and get better and develop. And our whole point is to do what's best for our team and try to go win games. And that's not a big focal point that I'm worried about right now. I mean, each kid has different situations, but and we'll have those conversations when they're needed to have. But there's a lot of things they can do in college football to help with that, and it's trending towards a 5-for-5 model. And if that happens, then this is an irrelevant conversation because a kid can play 5 years and there's no value to a red shirt. You can play 5 for 5, and it takes that out of it.
That's all your time today, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.